Have you ever felt like the person you trusted most in the world was living a double life? That's exactly what happened to me, and what I discovered shattered everything I thought I knew about my marriage. If my story resonates with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more stories of betrayal, healing, and redemption. The first time I met Dr. Elaine Winters, I felt an immediate sense of comfort. Her office, with its soft lighting, comfortable chairs, and the gentle sound of a water feature in the corner, was designed to put clients at ease. I needed that tranquility desperately. My marriage to James was falling apart, and I couldn't understand why. After 12 years together, he had become distant, secretive, constantly checking his phone and making excuses to leave the house. "So, Olivia," Dr. Winters said, her voice calm and measured as she crossed her legs and balanced her notepad on her knee. "Tell me why you're here today." I poured everything out, the late nights, the emotional distance, the suspicion that had become my constant companion. As I spoke, I noticed something flicker across her face. It was brief, almost imperceptible, but in that moment, something felt off. "Your husband," she said carefully. "What did you say his name was again?" "James. James Harrington." The pen in her hand stilled. For a therapist who had maintained perfect composure, this momentary freeze was jarring. She recovered quickly, but not before I caught it. "I see," she said, and continued the session. "When I got home that evening, James was actually there, sitting at the kitchen island with a glass of whiskey. He looked up when I walked in, his eyes slightly unfocused. 'How was your day?' he asked, his voice carefully neutral. 'I started therapy,' I said, watching his face closely. 'With Dr. Elaine Winters.' The glass froze halfway to his lips. A drop of amber liquid spilled over the rim and landed on his white shirt, spreading like a tiny bloodstain. 'Oh,' he said, setting the glass down with deliberate slowness. 'That's good. I hope it helps.' That night, I woke to find James's side of the bed empty. From the hallway came the soft murmur of his voice. He was arguing with someone in hushed, urgent tones. I crept closer to listen. 'You can't be her therapist,' he was saying. 'This crosses every line. You need to refer her to someone else.' A pause as the person on the other end responded. 'Because you know too much about me,' he hissed. 'About us. About everything.' My heart pounded so loudly I was afraid he would hear it. When he ended the call, I slipped back to bed and pretended to be asleep when he returned. But sleep was impossible now. My mind raced with questions. How did James know my therapist? What did she know about him? What was the secret that connected them? The next morning, I called Dr. Winters' office and requested my session notes under the guise of wanting a second opinion. Her receptionist emailed them to me within hours. What I found in those notes was minimal, just the outline of our session with none of the reactions I'd noticed. But attached to the file was something else, a document that had clearly been included by mistake. It was a session summary with the client name listed simply as J.H. From 6 months ago. James had been seeing Dr. Winters long before I ever walked into her office. The realization hit me like a physical blow. My husband had been in therapy, something he'd always dismissed as not for him, and had deliberately hidden it from me. And now my therapist was harboring this secret, violating every ethical code of her profession. When I confronted her at our next session, her professional demeanor crumbled. "Olivia, I need to apologize," she said, her voice shaking slightly. "I should have referred you the moment I realized you were James's wife." "How long?" I demanded. "How long has he been seeing you?" She hesitated, weighing professional confidentiality against the ethics breach that had already occurred. 2 years, she finally said. 2 years. While our marriage had been slowly disintegrating, James had been coming to this room, sitting in this very chair, sharing his thoughts with this woman instead of with me. "Why?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. What was so terrible that he couldn't tell me? I can't breach confidentiality, she said. But I can tell you that James loves you very much. His sessions were largely about how to be a better husband to you. I laughed bitterly. A better husband doesn't keep secrets. When I got home, I found James waiting for me. He looked terrible, unshaven, red-eyed, as though he hadn't slept. Dr. Winters called me, he said. She told me you know. Not everything, I said. Not why. And so began the unraveling of the secret that had been destroying our marriage from within. This is just the beginning of what would be a much longer story exploring themes of trust, betrayal, healing, and the complicated journey toward forgiveness. The narrative would continue to develop the complex dynamics between Olivia, James, and Dr. Winters, revealing the deeper reasons behind James's secrecy and the path toward potential reconciliation or separation.